Good morning, this is Shindo. I am delighted to tell you that the Roman Catholic Church, which has been an abomination since its inception, is seeing the beginnings of the end. As I have predicted, the whore is going to desolation. If you don't like drama, you don't subscribe to this channel. Speaking of which, if you do, and you do like what I'm doing, please subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share my videos. This is Pope Francis lashing back at his critics. Pope Francis speaks out against injurious words. This is from Christian Science Monitor. Of course, you will find a link in the description box. Pope Francis spoke out against insults in his weekly Angelus address Sunday, in which some interpreted as a response to mounting criticism of the pontiff from the conservative Roman Catholics. They're devouring themselves, folks. The commandment, quote, "Thou shalt not kill," unquote, applies not only to literal homicide, but also to, quote, "the behaviors which offend the dignity of the human person, including insulting words," unquote. Francis said in his address at the Vatican, quote, "Certainly, these injurious words do not have the same gravity and sinfulness of killing, but they are placed on the same line because they are the premises of a more serious act, and they reveal the same malevolence," unquote. So, folks, the Pope is equating him being insulted to murder. Quote, "Please do not insult," he added. "We earn nothing by doing so," unquote. The remarks followed a week in which the Pope faced heightened criticism from conservative Catholics after intervening in the Knights of Malta order. The mounting tension came as many traditionalists in the Vatican view the election of President Trump as the rise of his chief strategist, Steve Bannon, as a potentially significant development, as the New York Times reported last week. Until now, Francis has marginalized or demoted the traditionalists, notably Cardinal Raymond Burke, carrying out an inclusive agenda on migration, climate change, and poverty that has made the Pope a figure of unmatched global popularity, especially among liberals. Yet, in a newly turbulent world, Francis is suddenly a loner figure, where once Francis had a powerful ally in the White House, in Barack Obama, now there is Mr. Trump and Mr. Bannon, this new president's ideological guru. For many of the Pope's ideological opponents in and around the Vatican, who are fearful of a pontiff they consider outwardly avuncular, but internally a ruthless wielder of absolute political power, this angry moment in history is an opportunity to derail what they see as a disastrous papal agenda. In Mr. Trump, and more directly in Mr. Bannon, some self-described rad trads or radical traditionalists see an alternate leader who will stand up for traditional Christian values and against Muslim interlopers. So, folks, the conservative Catholics are looking to Donald Trump and, of course, his apocalyptic advisor, yes, apocalyptic advisor, Steve Bannon. I did a video on Donald Trump's apocalyptic advisor, Steve Bannon. You can find it I just did it a few days ago, so it won't be hard to find. Last week, after Francis named a top Vatican archbishop, Angelo Busini, to be his special delegate to the Ancient Knights of Malta order, dozens of posters appeared around Rome featuring a scowling Francis in reference to the decapitation of the knights, along with other actions the Pope has taken against conservative groups. The posters also accused Francis of having, quote, ignored cardinals, apparently referring to Cardinal Burke and the three others who have publicly asked the pontiff to clarify whether divorced and civilly remarried Catholics are allowed to receive Holy Communion. Shortly after, a fake front page of the Vatican's official newspaper containing a fake interview with Francis was sent to cardinals and bishops by anonymous source. In the interview, Francis answers yes and no to questions regarding his position on whether divorced and remarried Catholics can receive communion. The content of the anonymous attack on the Pope is not particularly surprising, observers say, but the delivery is unprecedented. Quote, Francis is not the first pontiff to fall victim of rumors and fabrications. Paul VI, John Paul II, and Benedict XVI were unfairly criticized at some stage. What's new here is the way the rumors are spread. It's a sign of the times. Antonio Spandero, the editor-in-chief of the Jesuit newspaper Civila Catholica, told NBC News, quote, this is the proof that the Pope has enemies, and his roles as a moral and religious leader is unsettling to some, unquote. Now, just 2 days ago, I know I've said it recently, I said, first they're going to go after the Muslims, then they're going to go after the liberal Christians. Folks, it's like I have their script and I'm reading it. It's so obvious to me. How it's not obvious to others, I really don't know. I mean, it couldn't happen to more deserving people than the Catholic leaders. I'm not going to pick on any individual Catholics, but I can tell you that as a Gnostic, the Catholic Church, I can assure you, if the truth was out there about the Catholic Church, the Christian Church in general, but especially the Catholic Church, if the truth was out there, then people wouldn't be regarding it with such reverence. Of course, most people know the truth. They just turn a blind eye to it. The whore is being gobbled up. Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. I just love reading from the Bible when it talks about how the whore and her harlots, by the way, the harlots being all the other Christian churches, will be destroyed. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Well, I don't say it enough. Matter of fact, I can't remember the last time I said it. But hallelujah! This is Shindo. Have a good day.